we are live. So let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Today I managed to get up a little bit, not get up, but managed to sort out some stuff a little bit earlier. So we're gonna give maybe like 10-15 minutes more time for us to work. As again, I have to start a little bit before 10 because I have to go to my daily job. So I'm gonna just pick it up where I left yesterday. So this was like the end where we stopped at yesterday. It is the pose is more or less done. We were just like discussing if I would like to have the arms covering his eyes like this, holding the staff backwards, or maybe have a pose with the staff forward. So what I'm gonna do is instead of deciding, I'm gonna make two versions. I think that would be the best option. So for that, what I will do right now is like I will pose the fingers a little bit better around the staff. What is gonna be eventually gonna be the staff. Just so yeah. So when I duplicated the arm, the hand is already in the position. I will put the pivot in the position where the hand would rotate, so that would allow me to later on to position the staff a little bit better around his hand. So yeah, yesterday was a fun day. I went back from to vacation to work after a week of vacation. I took a week off for celebrate my birthday. That was a few days ago, and it was good to be back. It's always fun to see your friends and then they ask you how you're doing, how was your vacation. It was a nice feeling. Yeah, I can't really talk much about what I do at my job because it's have NDAs and things like this. But it is a very good job. I'm very happy. Um, I think if you guys ever wanted to work for games, I highly recommend. I think it's a very creative industry, and there is a lot of space for new talent. And I mean, if you guys see the amount of like with this virus going on, it's like games is the thing that actually profited the most because everybody needs like entertainment to when they stay home, right? So it is and a company like mine, at least, they took very good care of us, and they allow us to do home office, and they give us a severance package for staying home, help setting up an office if you didn't have like the equipment needed for home officing. um, yeah, it's it's good to be taken care of in situations like this. This is like why one of the reasons I'm always a little bit afraid of going the the freelance route. Those you actually could eventually make more money by being a freelancer, but also that also means that there is a lot of extra work that you have to do. You have to be responsible for marketing yourself, finding clients, running after clients to get paid. Yeah, it's a whole business, right? And there, if you can't find a client, it means you do not have you don't have. If you can't find the clients to pay for your bills, you can't find yeah, security. So it's good to have like a full time job, and especially in situations like we're living in nowadays. Uh, I will just make like a duplicate of the kid one. I'll just select everything, duplicate, and I'm gonna just move to a new collection. I'm gonna call it kid one B. So this is what the B one. It's I wanted to have exactly the same position as the first one. So you saw I move it around, but it's very easy to get in the exact same spot in Blender. You can just like put the cursor on the selected object, and then you select this one and you move it with Shift S, and you move selection to cursor, and then it's gonna put them exactly in the same spot. So I'm gonna hide the first kid. So now the kid 1 is visible. So this one I can just play around. I can put the other 2 kids visible again, so I can have a better reference for the pose. And I can just play around with a second pose, and then I can later on decide which one I like the best. So we were talking yesterday about having this character actually pointing forward with his stick. Like, that is the way we have to go. That way, follow me. Something like this. So I will position the character in a way that give it this sense of joyfulness. And the good thing is, I mean, it is double the amount of work as I would do two poses, but I'm not gonna push it too much to a completion. I will do for one of them, more to complete state, and then later I can just try to cut and paste parts of the body to get like the same look. But I think it's easier to visualize the character in the in pose. And I mentioned like maybe playing with his brother here or something like this, like in the concept. Like if you see you guys over here, this is the concept art. I had the YouTube window open. Yeah, you guys can see I'm still learning to do this streaming thing. And yeah, and even I right now I'm only doing streaming in silent mode. It's still private. I told already my client, and he said it's okay to go for it. But since I started this one this way, I think I'm gonna go all the way on my loneliness here in my fortress of solitude, like Superman would say. And for the next one, I will. And then I created a new YouTube channel where I plan to do these things and share always the process, because I am having so much fun doing this, more than I expected. So yeah, if you guys like it and would like to see more, I will share later on my YouTube that I created. It's called the Art at the Attic, because my office is in an attic in the top of my house. Well, that's what an attic is. Yeah, but that's where my office is, so I thought it could be an interesting name. So now we have here let me hide the annotations. So we would have like this pose or this pose. I forgot to move this to the kid one, the staff. So now if I hide the kid one, you can totally see kid 1 or kid 1B. Which one is better? Hard to tell. I guess this is the kind of thing that I would get the feedback from my client to decide. So when you are like this in a situation that you can't really decide what's the best way to go, what I like to do is I just postpone. I'm gonna leave it for later, and actually gonna start with the kid 2 and go upwards. So today's gonna be a interesting project, because interesting day, because my idea is like I would like to block at least the kid 2. This again, I'm gonna start again with the saying, like, I always try to have a goal for what you want to achieve on the day, and that's how you also can judge more or less how fast you actually is. This is a very important skill to have to say like, okay, I think I can actually do this much of work, and then you always try to go like maybe 5% more than you actually can. That would force you to push a little bit further, and also to have a good feeling of how much actually you can produce. So for today, I actually think I can. I mean, I only have like an hour and a half more or less, maybe an hour and 45 minutes. So maybe I could have like the kid chew, and perhaps the legs of the kid, the oldest one. But for now, I will just do the kid number two. So for that, I will hide everybody, and let's get started. Actually, I'm not gonna put the kid tree right on top of him, so I have like a reference for his pose, but it's not so. I don't want to be selected. I don't want to be able to select the kid number three, so I disable the selection. I usually like to have like all these things visible. So what it means, like the little arrow things means selection. So I cannot select the character when this is disabled. So even if I would go like in object mode, I click on him, I cannot pick him up. The eye is for visibility, as you can see, and the monitor is for display on the viewport. So and the little camera is for handling. So this is like extra things. It doesn't really affect us for printing, but it's good to know. And this one disabled the whole collection, so we'll kind of have the same effect that's hiding it. So yeah, he has a symmetry on. That's why I couldn't push. Yeah, so now I want to start collapsing the stack, because I don't want to have like you saw I couldn't select the vertex that I wanted. It's because it was a symmetrical object, and this side of the the object was actually fake. It didn't exist. It only existed as a modifier. So I will collapse the stack in order to be able to gain access to it. And that means like now I don't have symmetry anymore, but that is okay, because I don't think I actually gonna need symmetry for this. It's actually, it makes it more fun also to sculpt. Again, yeah, I'm also gonna apply the modifier. That's when now I actually have to start thinking about his body volume, because it was still on the very skinny side, because it's the basic body that we made for all three brothers, right? And I didn't take in consideration like I knew about it, but I just ignore for speed sakeness, because this is easier to do when I already have like the character in the pose. But now it's when it's time to adjust them. I was just gonna do first the upper body, and then later I'll do the bottom, the legs. You guys see, it's like I'm just combining I don't care like it's not important that the geometry overlap, because I will combine them together into one solid piece. This is I just find it easier to get like the silhouette of the character when they are split like that, because then you can use parenting, as you guys saw before. But when I transform this into a sculptable object, it will merge all these vertex together, and it's going to be just a solid piece of geometry. This is a little bit better for what I was going for. Um, yeah, I'm thinking about maybe already having the. I'm gonna duplicate this to block out the skirt piece. Because if you see the concept, he has like his orange cloth goes a little bit underneath his belt and makes like this little, almost like a skirt like. Yeah. Again, I really like to work in the low poly the first, and perhaps reason why I like working in the video games, especially in mobile, because yeah, it's so low poly, and I like it. I think it has a challenge to it to achieve like a shape with less. Sometimes less is more, so it's a challenge, and it feels almost like a game in itself. And it's easier to make big changes if you have a low low geometry. I find it's easier to get like a good control. I mean, it good. A lot of geometry gives you more fine details, but fine details it's not really important. It's more important real the. It sounds so weird to say that when I was starting, I always felt like wow, super detailed. It's the best artwork, but actually the details it becomes noise. So it's I always think on your this is you always think like on your big shapes first, and then the details goes on top. So to have a low poly geometry is easier to focus first on your big shapes, and then later you do your polishing pass, like a secondary and tertiary forms. This is secondary and tertiary forms. It per means like the amount of details. So primary would be the amount of details you see from I think I mentioned this before, but like so this far away, this is your primary, and from here is would be more or less your secondary, and then the tertiary form would be like this sort of tiny wrinkles that you see around, and you can even go further adding little eyelids. This is the kind of stuff that wouldn't print unless like this is a massive miniature you're printing it off. But in my printer it would never come up. My print I would probably just push up to a secondary form, secondary level of detail, because my printer doesn't have the resolution for it and or the size, unless I would make like a multi-part pieces in I don't know 6 or 7 prints runs. I haven't done that yet. I might eventually one day for a dragon or something like this, but yeah, I still haven't done that. Okay, I like how it goes like this, so I will combine him. I will make visible the this button here, because then allows me to see what is selected. So I'll combine. I'm gonna do the scapula part. You see, it gave me an error here. It's saying like that this is a linked duplicate. So the change that I'm making to one is affecting to the other side. This is what I wanted actually when I created this, because it allows me to adjust both at the same time, and this is actually very handy when you sculpting the details on your mesh. But for now, that's I think I don't really need. So the way to remove it, you can just like go to your mesh data, which is this triangle thing, and this is like the amount of users that this data is having. It says it has 2. It's because they are both sharing the same data. So if I click in this number, it's gonna make this unique. So each one now is a unique data block. It's called in Blender. So now if I make changes to this one, it doesn't affect the other one anymore. So that pretty much like made into a simple duplicate. This is what I like. And notice that this one also has like the negative scale. It's because we flipped the whole. Remember, we flipped the whole arm with x minus 1. So I will apply the scale. You can apply the scale with Alt S up, and then you see it flipped everything. That's not what I want, so I'm gonna undo. That's because it's parented to an object, so I would have like to break the parenting. So before I do that, I will do the arms, and then when I have like the arms more or less defined, I will later break the symmetry and combine. The arms I wanted to be a duplicated mesh, because then I can just focus in one. This is the where this technique really shines, because it saves so much work. Again, I'm making sure that he has more mass than before, because he was too skinny. Didn't it didn't fit the view I have in my head for the middle kid. I mean, you look in the concept, he's much bigger than he was. Okay, I will combine the arms later. I will do the body for now. So I will break the parenting of these two scapulas so I can combine them and don't destroy the arms. So for that I Alt P, and then I clear the parent and keep the transformation. So they stay in the same position. It means I can still move the whole arm as a group. But now if I move this, I broke the symmetry with the parent from the wrong one. This one, it's the, yeah. So I'll break the parent from this one and from this one. So now if I would move the scapula, the arm should stay still. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So now I can just select all these objects, and having like the last object selected, you can discover that the last one is the one that has the yellowish highlights instead of the orange. So if I combine now, all of the orange piece gonna become part of this yellow object. So I can Control J for join. And you see, this is always funny. You always make like these small mistakes. The head went to the center of the word. It's because the head is still parented to the object, and since you lost the parent, he doesn't know where to go, and then he goes to the word. So I will clear the parent and keep the transformation, because I like the position where the head is, and now I just select them all again. And now I can Control J, and all good. So now I can go to Sculpt mode, and you see like this colorful piece. It's because Pablo Barro introduced this poly sculpt groups. It's called. It allows you can like mask by the object by the groups. For example, you can have like a brush just affect it's super handy, and you can also check like I think visibility by pressing H on top of one, and it's super good for detailing objects. and later on we're gonna see more in details. But for now, I want actually to combine everything. So I with Shift R I can define the size of my voxels, and I want to have actually a big voxel, and I Control R to apply, and then I'm gonna smooth it out to, you see, that's how you get rid of the gaps, and you pose the guy a little bit better. So let me think here how I would like to do this, right? I wanted to have a little bit of I'll create a new annotation. I usually work with only one or two, but it's good. Alright. I wanted to have like some wrinkles around where the taller brother is, and I wanted to have like some compression like this, because I mean it's kind of like he's standing the body like that way, so I want to have like some wrinkles in here, and then it's gonna be like the belt around here, with a line training the connecting with the book, something like this. His cloth is actually, it's made out of two pieces, the orange jacket thing and the white shirt underneath. So this is actually good because my arms are already separated, so I can just like make a hole in here like this, and later I will just sculpt with my arms inside this, and will create this feeling of the jacket, this volume that it has. I can always like inflate a little bit around to emphasize even more the chew surface. So I'm gonna use like some clay brush to add more mass. I find that the clay brush is pretty good for this sort of detailing, because it gives you it has like a square alpha, and it's almost like if you put like a strip of clay, and that's what it's trying to mimic, and it feels really good. So I will use my drawing my drawing pen here to draw the rings, the direction of the wrinkles. New to Blender is the cloth brush. It makes like a simulation of cloth. As I mentioned like in the beginning of the first videos, if you guys saw, I don't want to use it because I want to have like a control of exactly how I want my wrinkles to be. I want it to be more stylized and more like a line decorish. If you see, like his wrinkles are very there is design to them, right? It's not just it's not cloth simulation. They have a purpose, and that's what I'm trying to achieve on this piece. I want the wrinkles to guide your eye. So for example, I want like this wrinkle here to throw you towards the spine of this one, and then probably this one are gonna also have like some things thrown to the other one, right? So this is the kind of thing like with I'm not saying that you cannot do with cloth simulation, but I don't know, I think it would be harder. I mean that this is a pure sculpting, right? This is how you would do if you were doing a figurine. You would put clay and total control, and I have fun doing that. And I want to here emphasize like the weight of the legs of the brother, which is on top of his shoulder. So the way I do that, I push a little bit down the more where the leg is gonna be, and I just pluff it off around it with the where the cloth is. I'm thinking I'm losing a little bit too much volume in here, so add a little bit of more. Always remember to rotate around your object to see it from all sides. It's not an illustration, it is a figurine that's gonna be 3D when printed. So you have like to look through all sides. It has to look okay, presentable from all angles. Uh, it's gonna be fun to have like I will do the same thing that I did with for his leg. From the older broad leg, I will shrink it down a little bit where the belt it's gonna be, because that gives you the impression that it's really pulling together. Right now you can see the belt's not modeled yet, but that's where it's gonna be. Again, I want to keep it loose and not too much. I don't want to have too much details for now. I'm just like sketching it up, the directions of the folds where they go, and more like thinking of the model it's as a whole, right? And I think he can have a little bit more tummy. Perhaps even like connect with the broader leg. This will be make it easier to print, as I mentioned in the past. And here I will also use the same thing that I mentioned. I'm gonna use the wrinkles to guide the eye. I want like the wrinkles to go towards the face. It's subtle, right? Just a tiny little subtle. That's like this little curve going up. It's just showing you around that's like my fault process behind it, why I made that wrinkle there. I also want to mark here where the chest muscles would go. I mean, would connect more or less here for the scapula. So you would have like a pinch of cloth put in that way. And yeah, look into his design. He has like a turtleneckish white cloth underneath. So I will do that like in a separate piece of geometry. So just like draw here where this would be my orange suit. Actually, that's something that you can do in Blender. You can turn it on the color by object, and then if you go to your data mesh data, no, your object data, it's the yellow box. You can change the color here to. This is just for visualization, but I think it helps in this case. So I'm gonna put this orange. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee. I'm gonna do the same for the skirt. Its skirt doesn't have any parent, but just in case, I'll just clear the parent and keep the transform. And go to sculpt mode, remesh it, smooth it out a little, And it gave me these very hard polygons, because I mean it was very low poly, and the voxel did a great job. So I find the best way to clean it up with this scrape. You just scrape it out and done, like smooth, butter smooth. The skirt's gonna be fun, because it's where you actually can play a little more on this guy with the flowness of the. And with the sculpt, you have like so much more geometry. You actually now can play. This will be more like a secondary pass on the cloth, right? So it would still keep more or less the same shape that I defined when I did the low poly, the base of it, but now I can actually have tiny little movement to it. For example, his leg is pushing forward, right? So the skirt would have like a pull towards that direction. So mark like this. And I'll just make sure that it's more flat around here, because I will remesh it again to get rid of these mesh problems. And I don't want to actually make too much under this skirt. I mean, you totally could, but I think it will just make it harder to print, and harder also to paint the model underneath. This will give more later on. If I decided to hollow it, I can actually hollow it down and make like a hole in here somewhere. I'll just for the sakeness of it, I'm gonna just pull it inside a tiny little bit, just to read the lighting, casting some shadows there. It'll be fun. Okay. Overall, I think it's going well so far. Perhaps I will have a tiny little bit of wind in here, so I want to break this shape a little bit, the volume, so you have like this flowiness around, right? That's what I was going after. Okay, I don't like this pointing thing here on the skirt, so I'm gonna smooth it a little bit. But also the same, more or less same orange. Actually, the best way to put the same orange is just to make like a same object. Now I will do the legs. The legs are still, if you guys remember, I didn't collapse, so I could just have to do one, and the other one will keep the same the change that I do to one affects the other. So the legs actually has to be pretty big. They are supporting the weight after all. And the cool thing is like you can sculpt in any one of them. Don't have to, don't force like to just sculpt in one. You sculpt in the one that it's better for you. Oh, I thought I had them connected, but it seems like okay, I have like this. Notice that I covered the sphere. The sphere is there was just more like to keep the volume. I don't really need it, so it's okay if I cover it. I mean, all these pieces here are just for guideline more than anything else. I will leave the boot for last. So just do like these two legs. So now I can, the good thing is like I can just remesh it. And this, all the things still goes to the other side as well, right? So this is exactly where the tool it's really cool to work. Just be careful when you're working on the one that is negative, because your brushes behave the opposite way that you expect. So if you're pressing to add geometry, you'll be subtracting, and if you're subtracting, you're adding, and the other way around, right? So just having that in mind, and then you can totally work on whatever it's better for you. I'm thinking about like some cool wrinkles design for where it's gonna be stuck into the boot. I will use my reference here from Linedecker because that is my guide. So I like this here, like tuck tuck tuck, like this triangular shape. I will try to mimic that in one side, especially like on the outside of the boot. Yeah, I really dig like Linedecker. I think he was an amazing artist. The golden age of illustration it's one of my favorite times. Norman Rockwell, Linedecker, wow, they are amazing. It's so much design into it. It looks so simple. It is so hard to make something look simple. So it's a huge respect. So yeah, I always have like try to get like your heroes and study them and uh, emulate not emulate but yeah, study from them and try to it's a sort of homage, I think, to to try to get stuff from out of the people you really admire. And I don't mean just like old artists, also contemporary artists nowadays. There is like a huge amount of artists that I admire, and that's like my speaking about my YouTube channel that I created. I want to be streaming sculpts out of concept artists or other artists that I like their work. So I'm gonna sculpt their models, try to sculpt their models as a reference to them. I will not connect the legs for now because it will allow me to change the pose if the client so desire. So the body, yes, because the body is very easy to redo, but the legs and stuff like this, it's probably is where I still gonna have like to do some fine tuning after. So I will keep them like separated as long as I can. I'm marking here where's the knee. So just a little volume. Actually, gonna inflate it a little bit, so it's that might be too much. And yeah, it's not that much to say. It's just go in the flow and have fun. Sculpt the arms a little bit now. The arms is gonna be gonna allow me to do this sort of wrinkles, especially here where they're very compressed. So this is pretty cool. That is where I said like I can just like tuck it inside the body, and yeah, since they are two pieces, actually it mimics exactly how the cloth is in the concept. Here the arm is a little bit too low poly for now to do the wrinkles that I want to do. So I will reduce the size of my voxel, and that's gonna give me way more geometry. And actually now I can sculpt better. eventually I when combine them, I will make changes to the arms so they are not exactly the same, the wrinkles from one side to the other. But this gives you like a lot of speed because you model in one, and I mean you're not gonna be comparing like, oh, he's used exactly the same wrinkle here, so it gives you a lot of speed because you just have to worry about modeling one cool arm for now, and then later you just you just make small tiny differences. So I'm just making like some wrinkles on it to emphasize that this is cloth. I imagine like this is a very baggy sort of cloth that it has very warm for his night walks when they're mischieving. Here is I want to really push the arm compression. This is where I actually might have been better to, well, it still works. But it would be probably better like to do this when because the amount of compression each arm is different. So yeah, I actually gonna reposition this arm tiny a little bit. I actually when I hold my kids in my shoulder like that, I tend to like to hold them from the top of their knees. It gives me better grip than from below. I find, but I actually want to have like one hand in each to be not be exactly the same, right? So I'm really trying to break the symmetry as much as possible. I want to like to be very asymmetrical because and nothing in reality is super symmetrical, and it gives very this digital look if you make everything super symmetrical. Have another sip of my coffee before it gets super cold. Oh no, it's too late already. Cold coffee. The best for the champions. Man, sometimes I miss music. Especially because like the good thing about being in home office is because I can sing along to my neighbors. But then it's nothing better than be able to sing like rock and roll, like 80s rock and roll. I will spare you guys from the torture. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, you should have fun, right? When I find like when you're having fun doing something, you get it reflects on your work. I find like it really shows this that you can actually sometimes really tells like the state of spirit that the artist was when he did something. Sometimes you want a more sad feeling, and that's but I want a joyful thing, and I think it's perfect for my state of spirit lately. I think it can be a little bit more fat. Not fat, but yeah, they're a bit bigger. just a bit. How would Bob Ross say? A happy little friend here. Just a little bit more. I want to pinch here to really sell the idea that he's compressing on the side of the body. You see, like the pinch pulls the geometry together, and I really want to, on my silhouette actually, to be like this sharp break, like I'm gonna draw again, sorry, like that and that. So I think like this wrinkle is too strong and it's kind of hiding the compression that I want to have. So I smoothed it out a little because I really want here a very strong change of plane. Because this sells the idea that he's like bending his body towards that to counterbalance the fuss that the other kids are doing on top. And for that I also want to like it's like curves and then straight, like straight, and then I want here to be a little bit more curvy like this. I still want to have the wrinkle, but I think the wrinkle was too big. So yeah, I think this is a little bit better. I'm wondering if I should make the arm, I'll play around, maybe the arm up like this, and he's really grabbing the leg of his brother. See, that's like nothing is final, right? You can always be changing, and actually you should be always be changing because you look with a fresher eyes. Yeah, I think I like this a little bit better. I think it was too compressed before, and this I think it helps read the diagonality of the arms. Perhaps this one can even be more like that. Yeah, I really want like this is the way I'm talking about. I want this diagonality here very strong, and then this in here, right? It's I think like an accordion, like it's compressing the accordion in here. Yeah, I like this. This is it's better. Again, I like the wrinkle throws you up the spine, but now since I changed the thing, I wanted to make it a little bit more into a curve. And actually, I mean, if you really think about it, you shouldn't have much of a wrinkle in here because it's the wrinkles would be more where the cloth is compressing, and here you would actually be stretching your cloth. So yeah, I will stretch it a little bit to even have give the feeling of more volume. Yeah. Now that we change the position of the arm, I can actually pull all this up a little bit more. I have to make the kid two actually selectable because I want to adjust the leg a little. I have to be careful with like these tiny holes. They can be problematic. I think I will just open him up. I think like I wasn't being I couldn't see much of his the kid shoe shoulder, so I'm trying to get a little bit more of this so I can actually see a little bit more of him. Let's do the neck piece. I'll just duplicate this for now. I mean, doesn't really need to be. I just need clay, right? So this will do the purpose that I want. Here we really can actually play with a lot of the wrinkles to kind of like this, like he has on like Leyendecker has on his wrinkles. So I will draw with my sharp draw sharp brush, just the main. I like that he usually have like a 3 and 2, so I'll do that. It's like 1, 2, and 3, and then in here just like a 2. Two. What I mean by 1, 2, 3, I mean these pockets of fold. And just combining them here. And I'll pull it off a little bit out of this from where his shirt is. So it's really coming out of the hole there and going up the neck. notice that I combined the skirt now with the bottom part. It's okay. I could have like try to keep it separated. I think there is like an option on the remesh to keep individual groups, but it's not a problem because I can always like mask it off and transform in its own face group. But for now, it's fine. It's not biggie. Now that since we have more visible of the body, actually, I can actually uh, emphasize like this. How do I say the body volume itself? I thought it was you see in here. I think it's losing a little bit of the shape of the body. So just like grab my crease and we're just gonna pull it. The cool thing, the good thing about the crease is that, as I said, I think I mentioned before, it kind of makes like a draw and a pinch at the same time. So it's a great brush. It kind of a little bit like the damn standard in ZBrush, if you ever use ZBrush. Yeah, it's not exactly, but it's more like a pinch with the deform, the brush deformation set to high. That's what it's actually doing. The cool thing, the crease is, even if you flip the brush with the control, it still pinches it together, the crease. So it would just actually just pulling it up or pulling down the center of the brush, but still creasing it together. This I really love this the Sculpt Wheel brush from JFrun add-on. It's a great add-on. I'm probably faster if I just like set up shortcuts for the brush that I use the most. But I think it's so cool to see the wheel and pick up exactly the brush that you want, and it really feels like you have like a bunch of tools in your hand. You know what I mean? I will just inflate a tiny little bit here to grab to get a wrinkle for free, and I'm gonna inflate around the separation of his hole in the shirt is, where his head the cloth is coming from. Yeah, and later what I'm gonna do is add this tiny piece of fabric to connect the that holds the piece together. Looks okay-ish. It's getting there. I think I have to move on. It's already 9, and I'm still playing too much with the shape. Let's do the hand. That's no turning back now, baby. Have to get going. Keep pushing forward. You have to keep pushing forward. I think the hand could be a little bit more full, but not much. I mean, even if he is a little bit bigger than his brothers, hands doesn't change that massively, right? So I'm more on the palm of the hand here. Actually, I will make a little bit more rounded, but besides that, the fingers, I think it's fine. I tend to make, I think, my characters with too big of a finger. I realized that analyzing my models, and I don't know why, because my fingers are not so big. I don't have big fingers. Don't have musician hand. I guess it's just yeah, and something that comes natural to me, to my aesthetics, I guess. I hope this is not too boring for you guys. Me listen to me divagating while I'm sculpting, pushing polygons here and there, talking about stuff. If it is, feel free to mute me, put some music, and maybe watch it as 3 times the speed, so you really see and if you find something that you find interesting, slow down. I mean, should have said that in the beginning of the stream, not like after almost an hour on it, but still. Wow. I can only do my best. If you don't like to watch, I can't do nothing about it. Alright. This it will be this thing here around the arm. So actually this I will scale and then Z. I'll actually modify the geometry a little bit to give me already a head start, right? I mean, why not use the advantages of low poly modeling? I think like sometimes when you find it hard to look to an area, you can always go in the isolate mode. This really helps to not just focus, but also to look from all sides. Remember, like this is a symmetrical object, so what I'm doing here is actually happening also for the other hand. Until I combine them, I break the link to them. So that's why like I'm sculpting here, even though like you're not gonna see when the leg is there. really want to grab the knees, so I'll close the fingers a little. Yeah. No. Okay. For hand pose. I was not gonna model like fingernails, and I don't believe you would be able to see on the sculpt. I mean, I could. It's not that hard. I just think it would be too noisy to have this sort of a small detail. I would rather if you to focus just on the volume of the finger more than in the tiny little wrinkle. So it is a design choice more than anything else. Alright, let's do the other brother. The same thing, right? We'll break the parent of this and keep the transformation. Now I'm actually gonna make the kid one visible, just so I have like the reference for him, but I will not make it selectable. It's pretty much like the same as the other. It's the same process. I want to clear the parent of this and keep the transform, and keep the transform of the head. So now I can actually combine all this into, oops, I deselected, into this last piece. So if I did it correctly, I can just like Control J. You see, something very funny happened, and that's because I forgot to apply the transforms. So you can just like apply all. If I'm not mistaken, the apply all happens to all selected object. Yeah, apply modifiers on all selected objects. So now they all don't have the mirror anymore. So now I can just Control J. If your blender don't have the, let me grab an object with have mirror. This. If you don't have like these things on the top, this is an add-on that comes with a blender. It's called the, I'll show you. It's the modifier something modifier tools. That's coming with Blender, and I find it super handy. I recommend to have it installed if you don't have it. So let's sculpt. I will show you the advantage of the having different groups, the color groups. So if you come in here to your tool, you can actually set like auto masking by face set, and I have the grab. So even if I start clicking here and you see like my move brush is not affecting the other ones. If I don't have this selected, as soon as I move, like it move everybody together. This actually can be very, very helpful. Actually, I'm gonna use it now so I can close these gaps and have a more organic turn for the spine. because when I combine the mesh, it will give me already the curvature that I'm after. Again, remember as we said, right? That's like the draw again, compressing, and now I will do the. Now I want to do this way, right? So I'm gonna compress even better like that. So it's almost like a man. And then the last guy, it's gonna be more like that. This is like the design of the flow. I'm going for the full figurine. It will pick up like the where you first, if you have the topology mask select, the face set selected, wherever you click first is the one that's gonna move, and then you can just position. Their their costume is it's on the simple side, which for this piece actually is good because the I think like the pose, it's complex on itself enough to even have a super fancy costume. So I think like the simplicity of the cloth here plays a advantage for the overall composition. Again, I will ask the client later if he wants more detail, or because like on this illustration over here, this guy has some padding on the skirt. I mean, we could do that. I'm just afraid it's gonna make it too noisy, the model. But yeah, I will leave this for the client to decide if he wants. I mean, it's this is a more detailed piece. It's the on my Fiverr. It is a 3-character piece, so it is already a more detailed. So if the client wants more detail on the model, I will happily oblige. I will like the good thing, like when you actually sculpting now I'm actually more like playing with clay. The head was too compressed. I find the body of this guy was compressing too much on top of the other brother. So now I'm moving, I can actually open a little bit more breathing space for his head, so you can actually see his head a little bit better. So this is it's cool is when you actually start to getting the figurine and the looks the way you want it to. I like this empty. I like this shape that is making here. I will try to keep that, perhaps even emphasizing a little bit more. English is so hard sometimes. Again, I want to emphasize the directionality of the shoulder. I'm always trying like to push very strong the angles, so you really feel like how the whole pyramid is like balancing itself. It's always like one putting the weight in one side and the other putting the weight on the other one to keep the balance. That is in my how I would visualize this. I think I can actually yeah, I can just go in the edit mode because I didn't have like the skirt mesh, so I'll just duplicate this and I will separate the selection so it's not the part of the body for now. The reason for that is because I wanted to sculpt it separately. Now I can actually just come here and I would just like combine the body now and smooth it out. As I mentioned like a few days ago, everything is about reference, right? I mean, I don't mean like references like this, but I mean, you're not gonna notice like this guy is bigger because you needed to have like his brother much skinnier, so you can actually say like, okay, this guy is bigger than the other. So it's all about you have to give your viewer a reference point to. I mean, how do you say how tall a person is? You can only say if you have like a shorter thing nearby, so you can like judge in relation to that. It's all about relationships. So I'm trying to keep this in mind when I make like the bodies, because this guy here has to be more skinny. It cannot be very like the other two, like the other one. So because it would be easy for me like to pull it. I mean, it could be it could happen that I just fill it up the space, but I wanted to be pay attention to that, and I would actually draw here a spine because I mean, I am a very skinny person, and especially when I was a kid, like that, you would totally see my spine peeking it through the cloth. Oh, nine! And crashed! Alright, good thing, like, Blender usually saves a lot. Let's see if it really. How much work did I lose? Remember, guys, always save. It's sad to say that right after it crashed, but I say that's a good thing to show you how you can recover the data. You can come here to recover, and then you have like autosave, and you see it was from 9:18, so it's like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, I just lost like the sculpt I had just started on the body. No, not that bad. Just after I duplicated this card, so yeah, it's okay. Let's keep it up. Now I only have like 10 or 15 minutes, so I'll save this just in case, so I don't. Yeah, and in Blender you can also save incremental by clicking on this plus sign, and automatically gives you a number. Since it was 1 and then 2 and now it's 3, so I will keep like versions of the file in case I have to go back to this past position. Actually, it could have been the face sets that made it break. I don't need like face sets after I combine the body anymore, because they are not. There is no sets anymore. After I combine, it's just one single mesh. So I'm gonna disable this. It was more like to just to show you guys. look at the bright side. The second time you do something, you usually do it better, right? So always look at the bright side. Always look on the bright. Oh man, I'm singing. Sorry. Ta-da, doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. I will mark where the scapula usually would be. Uh, his arm is a little bit like up, so I think like the scapula would actually penetrate a little bit on the wrinkle the cloth a little bit. There's I don't know if you guys know. It's called damn, my name is not coming to me, but Watts, Jeffrey Watts from the Watts Atelier. He always talks about draw what you see and what you know, what you see, and what you wish to see, to have seen. And it's the same thing that I'm thinking here. I mean, I'm not seeing anything because I'm coming up with a lot of the design on the fly. But it is a lot about like what I wish the cloth would do. Even if that's exactly what I'm saying about not using the new cloth brush, because they are actually they are simulation, right? They're gonna be much more realistic looking, but it's not about realism. It's about like the design. So that's where I wish, like that's where I'm going for the thing that I wish I have seen. Jeffrey Watts is an amazing artist. He has like this Friday night streams on YouTube, and he has his academy. I joined the Watts Online Academy in the past when I used to work for Social Point, and I loved it. I'm hoping like to join again later on in the future when I find more time to actually do some traditional art, because yeah, even if you want to be a sculptor or just want to do miniatures, I believe you should study traditional art as well. Draw as much as possible. I mean, it all complement each other, right? Because we are artists. That's like the thing that you have to think of. You're not like just a 3D artist. You are an artist for most. So rules of composition, design, balance, all this is universal to all the media that you use. If you paint or if you draw or paint or sculpt, these are the basics that you have to know. And sometimes like 2D, actually study them in 2D helps because it's not that it's easier. It is I think it's easier to not. I said easier. It's not that it's easier, but it puts you already in the picture plane, the perspective, right? The things like the 3D, you have like an infinite amount of picture plane because it has to look good from all angles. But even if it is, there's always like 3 or 4 main angles that actually has to look good. I mean, it's impossible to make it perfect for all angles. At least I believe so. I mean, I'm also learning, right? I mean, don't take my word as dogma because I'm just now old man in my 40s, but still I'm still a apprentice. Apprentice. We are learning. This is the point. Always be learning. Try to learn something new. Actually, today I already learned something new that I didn't know, which was actually I'll tell you guys right now before the stream ends because it's almost time to stop to prepare for my work day. I had this guy, another client in Fiverr, contacted me, and he was asking me about if I could maybe for the future project help him with a character that has curly, and he mentioned like, yeah, there's a 3A or 3B curly. I was like, what? It's 3A or 3B? Turns out actually there is a definition for types of curly hair. I had never heard of that in my life before. And say, yeah, I didn't know either. Check on Google, and I checked that it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, I learned that today. I still have to study a little bit to see exactly what he means and if I can actually help him with that. But I found that it was fun. I think it's used by hairdressers or something like this. So learning something new. 3A to 3B curly hair. And actually I do have curly hair. I have to see what kind of number lettering my hair is. I have no letter. I am a free man. I will call in. I have to prepare to leave soon. Maybe I still have like half an hour. I'll put a little bit more of color on the object, just so it looks nice, but to help like visualize, and also to see like which character is which, right? So this is more like the reddish, not so saturated. Yeah, more like this. That was too saturated. I mean, this in the final model. This is just for visualization. The final model is all gray-ish, the same tone. This is just for so it's easier for you guys to see which parts what. I will make him. I'll hide the kid. Sorry. Actually, I think you can actually do like this. I'm not sure, but I will try. You just select like many objects, and if you hold Control, and then you change the color. I don't know. Maybe it's with Control. Shift. Oh, I thought you could actually change the color of them all at once. I always thought it was like with holding Control and then changing. My bad. I thought you could do from them all at once. Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Gonna leave their hands the way it is. Okay, I'll change the color of the ear because it's pretty easy. See? I want to put it flat so I can pick up the proper color without the shading effect in my. Okay, I said I wouldn't, but I will. I think I'm tired already for today from working out this model, so I will just color him up and call it today. So if you guys want to stop by now, it was my pleasure to have you here. I hope you learned something new. If you didn't know about 3A, 3B curly hairs, you already learned something new, like I did. And tomorrow, join it again. I will do as soon as my kids leave for school. I usually work until 10. I don't know why I'm saying these things for you guys, because you guys watching after the fact. By the time you see this, all the recording should be done. But it's a good practice. So when I have my YouTube channel, I'll try to stream around this time, right before my stand up for work. I find it a good warm up. And by the time I actually have to be on my job, I'm already much looser. Not a loser, lose. Oh man. Oh, I crank it up myself sometimes. I think it's a good sign if you can read off your own laugh of your own mistakes. It's you're doing something right. I never mentioned why I'm leaving the boots for last. The reason is because after I have one, I will just duplicate for the other guys, because I have a hard time to make boots actually. I have to practice more. Perhaps the fact that I don't pay too much attention on them. I'm not a shoe guy. My wife would probably do a much better job than I am. She likes shoes better than I do. Alright. I thought I was just doing for fun and for silliness, but actually this can be good for the client so he can have a idea of how the character gonna look with color. I'm not the one who's gonna paint the miniature. I'm actually not even printing the miniature. I'm just sending him the file and he printing himself, but maybe he can use this as a color scheme for his artist. Hard to tell. Perhaps something that I could use in the future as well for other clients. I haven't thought about using this before. It's faster than adding texture. Okay, fair enough. I think I'll just leave the flat and put on the studio lighting so you can actually see the model a little bit better. I'm gonna put the other kid visible so the composition is more closer to final. Okay, 10 more minutes, I will do the skirt and then I will call it done for today. I'll save. I always save from time to time. Yeah, I mean Blender is actually pretty good on in the autosave department. It saved me so many troubles because of that. But it's not flawless, especially because I'm using the version 2.91 on here, and as of now, it hasn't been released yet. It's still beta. Probably by the time you guys, definitely by the time you guys watch this, it is out. And by then I'm probably gonna be using the alpha of 292 or perhaps even later. The thing is like you shouldn't be using alpha or beta versions for real work, but I find it so stable, and the new features, especially for sculpting, they are so worth it that yes, just save more often and take the risk, bite the bullet. It is worth it, I find. It's all about like rewards, and I mean, if you know the risks, why you're taking them, you have to make like the call. It's like, is it worth or not? Make like the polygons bigger to have less polygons. It seems like it starts raining here. I love the sound of the rain on the window. It's a very peaceful sound, I find. Wow, I'm sounding like Bob Ross. And the sound and the birds and the happy little tree and this happy little brother on top of his younger brother. So happy, the youth. Oh man, Bob Ross was my hero. Was my hero. Hello there. So, alright. I'm really calling it quit now, for sure. Just gonna paint the skirt the same color as the jacket. For visualization sake. And okay, before I go, let's think about let's annotate a little bit, like 5 minutes of annotation before what the plan for tomorrow, what's gonna be. Tomorrow I want to finish the legs of the brother. I actually think in here would be a good place to cut the model. So maybe I will try to make like the belt a little bit more straight, so so the print is actually 2-piece. Like this one here is gonna be piece 1, and this one here piece 2, right? And so tomorrow there, let's think about the necklace. If I make like separate like that, I thought about having like the necklace connect with the hand, but that wouldn't work if they are two separated pieces, because this part here would be part of the other model. So the probably like the necklace has to be like floating somehow. Haven't decided exactly how I'm gonna do, but yeah, it will have to be perhaps just like hanging around here, tucked to the body. Yeah, maybe that could be, maybe that will do. we'll have to, we'll see. I have to think about that. Still have to decide about the kid, which one I'm gonna push the detail for. Try with the kid 1B. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one for the presentation of to the client. I think I'm gonna sculpt this version. Perhaps even put his body more forward. Like he's really going to he really wants to go forward. And then I can put his butt a little bit behind. And hop. Yeah, I like this. I like the fact that it goes like this up and go that way. So perhaps like the step has to be a little bit more that way. So this is like the energy, the way I want the energy to flow through the model. Maybe the head can be already like that, as long as I don't I think I might have broke too much the hand. Yeah, I think like this is a little bit better. Yeah, I think like this is fun. I think this is a fun piece. I think I'm gonna go with this one for the client if he likes, and if not, I do the other version later. But yeah, even though there is a little discrepancies on the position now, still should be relatively fast. Maybe tomorrow my goal is like to finish the other two. If I can have the same amount of time that I did today, I would like to finish the other two brothers, and maybe sketch up block out the book and the necklace and a little bit more detail on the staff, and then I can actually send it to my client to get his original feedback. And if he is happy with it, I think we can start approaching the final detailing of the piece. And yeah, it started to getting closer to a more finishing solution. Just a quick note: I will change the expression on the characters. Right now they are like pretty much like mannequin, no expression whatsoever. So be ready to see some funny faces on the camera. I will make like some faces that I would like to have and add it to my reference sheet. But I will show you that when we get there. So calling for the day. I hope you guys liked. Thumbs up if you did. Thumbs down if not. Just leave a comment if you want to. I will try to read it later. And yeah, I will give you more information about my new future YouTube channel when I actually have them. I'll put like the camera here so you guys can actually see who is talking to you. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow if everything goes well. So bye bye. Bye.